My name is Joanne Egan and I'm from the northeast of England. I'm originally from South Shields. I had quite a difficult childhood. What springs to mind? Just playing and doing the normal things that children do, you know, playing in the house and going to school. My dad's from Ireland. He's a Catholic. He got brought up in a Catholic religion, so he wanted us to go to a Catholic school. My mum, she came from a background that he didn't have any religion or anything. So my dad was quite wanted to send us along to a Catholic school so we would have, you know, learn respect and beliefs in God and stuff like that. And we had quite a strict upbringing, which was quite nice in a way because we always had a mum and dad there, and they're still together even 46 years later. So that's really nice that they've stayed together throughout loads of different difficult times and stuff. Just normal family unit, really. Mum, dad, brother, sister, and then I was the youngest one. We went along to school, and with us being in a Catholic school, we had to go to church about 5 times a week. You learned the Old Testament back then, because I'm getting on slightly, but that was like 40 years ago, so it wasn't this New Testament that the Catholic people have got a New Testament, but it was the Old Testament. So we used to go along to church quite a lot. That's all I knew, really. There was certain things I felt like I questioned about, certain things about my religion. I thought, it's a bit strange. But I didn't look into it too much because I was on my journey in life, you know, like at school and studying and doing lots of different things in my life. And it wasn't something I had come across, anything to do with religion. I stopped believing in it because of, I suppose, maybe other people, maybe things that some bad people make you think, I'm not going to believe in that. I don't want to believe in a religion. I'm not going to believe in it. Because it was almost like they were hypocritical. One minute they were going along to church, and then the next minute they were like evil, and I just thought, and it was always the type of place where my friends used to go to Sunday school, and that was like at church on a Sunday. But probably my mum and dad never really took us. That might be nice if they had took us on a Sunday. I probably would have went along, but because they weren't interested neither, well, they weren't really interested in anything. Without going into too much detail, I would, like, you can be from a particular religion. Like I was a Catholic back when I was younger, and there was people who would I can't really go into it too much, really, but there was a lot of difficult things that went on when I was younger. Not that made us question that religion, but it made us who I am today, really. I just feel like you just sort of muddle through things, don't you? I wasn't really going along to church in any way. Like, as a Catholic, I felt a bit lost. No, I felt like I didn't really have anywhere to turn, and my mum and dad, I always had like difficult times with them because they were quite violent when I was young. So I didn't really feel like I had them there to turn to. Even now, it's still difficult, you know, because I still don't really feel like I've got them there to turn to. So it's nice to be able to turn to Allah, but sometimes you still want your mum, you know, it's like, because she's your mum. But yeah, so as a teenager, I'd say I wasn't in like trouble or anything. I wouldn't like go out and drinking or never smoking, nothing really. Not that I'm saying like that's a good or bad thing, but that just wasn't my way. I was always into fitness. I always loved fitness stuff. And funny enough, when I left school, I wanted to be a professional dancer. And I did used to be a professional dancer. Going from a professional dancer and then to becoming a Muslim is like complete extremes. They're extremes, but they're not. You know, like it sort of makes sense now. But back when I was younger, nothing made sense. I felt like I didn't know who I was. Quite good at art. I was more like artistic, and as I say, I wanted to become a professional dancer. I used to work on TV programs and everything. It was fantastic. I cannot say I wouldn't have done that in my life because it was who I was then, you know, and it gave us like experiences of different things, you know, the things that I seen and the things I didn't want to be. At the time, it was like a passion. I loved dancing, and I went into like performing arts, and I used to work on this like television program, and it was great. We were like signing autographs, and I felt really important. I think I was looking for something, you know, like, because I didn't feel there's something missing, you know, there was something missing from me. And so I was trying to fill that gap. But now when I look at it back then, I know what I was trying to do. But back then, to me, that was the world I wanted to be in. I wanted to sign autographs, and I wanted to be popular, and I wanted to be a dancer. And then one day, must have been I worked being a professional dancer for about 10, 11 years. And one day I thought, I think you need to use your brain now, Joanne. So that was it. I left. I ended up, I moved up to Scotland, left my mum and dad's house, moved up to Scotland and studied science and did like a Bachelor of Science in Human Nutrition, which is like completely, you know, like a professional dancer and then going and studying chemistry. He says, that's the calling. He says, have you heard that word? And I went, yeah, what does that mean like? And ever since then, I've just become interested myself. And, you know, I say to them, but me reading the Old Testimony, even in the Old Testimony, it says and I remember reading it in church when I was like 7, like, thou shalt not eat the meat of a swine. Now that's a pig. And that is that's the Quran. It states that they don't eat. In the New Testimony, they've changed it. They've took that out. So I just believe that it's been changed just that many times. Whereas the Quran hasn't been changed. You know, it is what it is. It's like untouched. So that's why I questioned like, and yeah, back when I was a Catholic, I didn't, you know, they used to worship like a Jesus Christ and on a cross. And I just felt so uncomfortable, like it didn't feel right. Whereas then when I obviously got not introduced, but I've sort of looked into the religion myself, because my husband's never pushed anything upon us. And sometimes I wish he would maybe say, do you know, there's another book for you to read. Do you want to read that book? But he wouldn't. He would just not say nothing. And for me, I just feel like I know more the truth now. I just feel like, but I feel like this is only the beginning. She started going along to mosque when she was about 5. She's getting to that age where she's like, I don't want to go at the mosque. And so I'm at that point of a bit of a struggle at the moment, which I'm a bit unsure how to get through that. But she's a good little kid, and she's like, with her growing up in a Muslim family, she knows respect, and she understands things that I can see in children who aren't Muslim. Not that I'm saying it's a bad thing, but when I go into a non-Muslim house, I know I'm in a non-Muslim house. It's completely different. You know, you would often hear like maybe one of the children swearing at the moms, like 8-year-olds and stuff. And you would just be like, oh my God, how disrespectful that, you know, but inshallah, I want her to, you know, learn all about our religion, because I've brought her into the world as a Muslim, and I remember when she was first born and they did the prayer like into her ear. Oh, and it just like, it brought a tear to my eye. I just thought, oh, it's just so nice.